M&M sales numbers beat street expectation in the month of June, and the company continues to see strong demand for the SUV segment. My colleague Mangalam spoke with Nalinikanth Gollagunta, the CEO of the automotive division, and began by asking him about the models that led to this growth.
Strong performance in June, 18%, like you said. Really, what has given us a lot of impetus over the last few months has been the 4 major launches we did last year. And as you know, we had the 3XO launch on the Thar Rocks, both on the ICE side. And we had 2 very strong EV launches, the 9e and the E6 as well. So that has given us the impetus, that has given us some of the growth coming in as well. But the bedrock of the volumes for us, of course, continues to be our Scorpio platform, our HCV 700 and the Bolero as well. So that continues to be a strong foundation. On top of it, the growth has come from these 4 major models.
So, the first quarter so far, your SUV sales have been 22%. What we want to understand is how sustainable is this? And are you likely to up your guidance of mid to high teens growth in FY26 basis this 22% performance in the first quarter?
Yeah, so we called out mid to high teens and we stick to that performance outlook at this point in time. We are not upping it. It's very early in the quarter, and very early in the year for us to look at it, but we're confident that we'll be able to do the mid to high teens growth.
All right. And what about the EV numbers? What's the monthly run rate out there? What about the utilization and the capacity that you're operating at? Yeah.
So when we launched, we said that we have operational as about 5,000 capacity per month. As you know, we launched 3 packs, pack 1, pack 2, pack 3. And but right now, what we are retailing out there to customers is only pack 3, the top end variant. And there's been strong demand for that. And we are at about 4,000 production and 4,000 billing and retail at this point in time, and just on that 1 pack. As we go into festive, we'll be launching the other variants as well, pack 1 and pack 2. So as we get ramp up on those, we should be able to see a little bit of a higher volume coming in from there. But what we have operationalized, we're confident we'll be using most of it.
And when you say higher, it would be 5,000 or would it be more than that? Are you increasing your capacity?
No, at this point in time, what we called out is 5,000 as an operational capacity. So that's what we'll be operating on.
And what about the rare earth issue? Because, the industry is facing that. Are you facing that as well? What's the kind of inventory that you're sitting on for the rare earths? And what's your plan after that?
Yeah, so currently we have inventory of all the affected parts. We have done a full analysis on all the affected parts. And as you know, there's end user certification which has to be put in place. So that's something we're working very closely with the suppliers to get it done as well. We're working closely with the government as well as SIAM to get there. But we're also looking at alternate sources. We're looking at alternate designs as well. So overall, currently, we have the inventory for the production that we want at this point in time, but we're actively working to de-risk.
How many months are you covered for?
No, it's hard to say at this point in time where we are, because the suppliers are also finding opportunities to find alternate supplies for us. So it's very hard to say, but currently we're well placed.
All right. And inflation. Tata Motors did speak about considering price hikes. What is the kind of inflation that you've faced so far, and will you be considering price hikes too?
Yeah, so price hikes is part of the regular running of the business for us. So we had projected in our own yearly planning what that looked like. And so we continue to see similar benign trends on inflation. So we'll stick to that. Yes, there is a price hike which will come up, but it's not something which is immediate.
What would the quantum of that be?
It'll be what we have done regularly on a quarterly basis. It's hard to say at this point in time because we are still a month or 2 away from that, and we'll have to see what the inflationary trends are. So hard to say at this point.
All right. While SUVs did well, the commercial vehicles were largely flat, and in that there was specific weakness in the sub 2 tons vehicle. What exactly is driving this, and are you seeing any sort of change, any turning of sentiment there?
Yeah, so sub 2 ton has on the load side, if I may call it, not on the passenger side. On the load side, we have seen weakness, and it's a weakness we have seen over the last few quarters. The hypothesis we have is a lot of the volume is starting to head towards higher tonnage. And so we're seeing some growth coming from there as well. And there's also the unorganized sector, which is underneath that, below that as well. So a bit of pressure from both sides to some extent. And but the beneficiary for us, obviously, is the 2 to 3.5 ton, which is where we have a very strong portfolio. So while the industry has been muted growth, we've actually given consistent growth, and the market share gains that we have shown over the last few quarters and the market share gains we will see in Q1 as well when the final industry data comes in tells us that we're on track.
That's the one that is driving your CV sales growth itself. For the first quarter, it's up 4%. Here too, your guidance is high single digit for the full year. So on the one hand, where your SUV, you've outpaced your guidance so far in the first quarter, in CVs, you are fairly away from there. Do you still maintain the high single digit growth guidance for CVs?
Yeah, like I said, very early in the year for us to do any changes in numbers at this point in time. We have a festive season coming as well. We are starting to see some momentum in the rural segment on Bolero and other products as well. So we are hoping that that will translate into some growth coming on the CV side as we head into the festive season. So again, very early to say, so we are sticking with our high single digits.
What about three-wheelers? That was a big 37% jump in June. How much of that was led by electric vehicles? Do you have a target contribution coming in? I mean, what's the prognosis here?
Yeah, so I don't have the exact numbers. It's a separate business unit, but overall consistent growth there. But a lot of that was also coming on the passenger segment side within the three-wheeler EV segment. So that's where a lot of the growth was coming from.
Why is there so much volatility in exports? All of 36% growth in the first quarter, but June was just 1%.
Yeah, so it's hard to say. On an export business, it's hard to look at it month on month. We also have major launches coming up. So we have some stocking that we do in certain markets at a certain point in time versus others. So it's better to do it at a quarterly level and probably even at a yearly level. So overall, we're confident with what we have. We just launched the 3XO a couple of quarters ago in South Africa. It won the Car of the Year award in South Africa. We're just about to launch 3XO in Australia this week. So we are very confident with what we have as products, and we look forward to taking our EVs as well globally in the next few years to come as well. So quite gung-ho on that front, but hard to take a trend out of monthly volumes at this point.
So what's the annual target that you have for exports in terms of volumes?
Again, we don't put out numbers on IO at this point in time, but it should be strong double-digit growth.
Strong double-digit growth. And finally, you called out a lot of new launches in the international markets. What's the kind of facelifts and launches that we can expect in the second half of this year for India?
Yeah, we have quite a bit in store. The most important thing is we are putting out an event in August as well, where we'll be talking about our new platform. That will anchor all our new vision SUVs going forward. So we're super excited to share our vision there and hope the customers will respond with the same excitement as they have done over the last 5 years.
Could you give us a peek into what you are going to talk about there?
Well, the teasers give some clues there, so I'll let the guessing game go on, but we'll be talking about platform and a few vehicles which will be anchored on the platform, which will be showcasing there.
Okay, that's the word coming in on M&M. By the way, the market at the index level is absolutely flat, but ITs are rocking today. The Nifty IT index is a gain of 1.5%,